I'm Merle Caruso. It's Tuesday, November 25th. Today, a lawsuit filed against the province of Manitoba.
Deliberately and strategically, the Dakotas were excluded from the numbered treaties.
Two Manitoba First Nations sue the province and Ottawa over oil and gas operations. Why they say they should be compensated. Also today.
This is really about the cost of living, right?
A multi-million-dollar investment in rural Manitoba. How the money will be spent and why the Premier says it's needed now more than ever. Plus,
we know that the first few hours after a person goes missing are critical to finding them.
Red dress alerts, how it could work and when it could launch in our province. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A pair of First Nations are suing the provincial and federal governments, claiming they've been unjustly enriched at their expense. And it all comes down to land rights in southwestern Manitoba. Joining me now to break down the case is CTV's Taylor Brock. So Taylor, what do we know about this legal action?
Well, Marilee, Chinupawapa, Dakota First Nation and Dakota Teepee First Nation say they never forfeited their land rights and they've never been compensated for oil and gas operations on the land. So they filed a statement of claim Thursday in the Court of King's Bench of Manitoba.
Deliberately and strategically, the Dakotas were excluded from the numbered treaties. This means the Dakotas have never surrendered their rights or title, and they have unceded rights to the land.
The legal action centers on a portion of the mineral-rich Williston Basin that's located in the southwestern corner of the province. The province generates over $1.3 billion worth of oil and gas annually, and some of which comes from that basin. It says the federal government granted subsurface rights to private landowners in Manitoba, but claims the First Nations were never consulted. The two First Nations are now seeking an unspecified amount in damages for oil revenue and for the government's alleged failure to compensate them. Now, none of the claims have been tested in court and no statements of defense have been filed yet.
Taylor, what does the federal government and province have to say about this?
Well, Marilee, we reached out to the Manitoba government as well as the federal government's Crown Indigenous Relations and Northern Affairs Canada. We have not yet heard back from them. CTV's Harrison Shin spoke with the chief of Dakota Teepee First Nation today. He'll have more on why the First Nations are suing at 6 o'clock.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Taylor. A 28-year-old man is facing charges after a brutal assault at a St. Boniface gas station. Police say it all began when a woman backed her vehicle into another vehicle at a gas station on Lagimodiere Boulevard in the early morning of November 2nd. The owner of the second vehicle, a 61-year-old man, went inside the store to call police when investigators say a suspect who was with the woman followed him inside and assaulted him. He was knocked unconscious, and police say he will need multiple surgeries as a result. The suspect was arrested Sunday and is charged with mischief and aggravated assault. Tonight, the Premier is promising the province will cover the expensive treatments required by a Manitoba man with a rare degenerative disease after all. This after 30-year-old Jeremy Bray made a plea to the province as his coverage through the drug company is about to end. Bray lives with spinal muscular atrophy and is using a medication called Risdiplam to treat it. It's not yet approved by Canada's drug agency for people older than 25. With his free coverage from the manufacturer coming to an end, Bray would have been on the hook for upwards of $300,000 a year to continue using it. His request was denied Monday, but as you just heard, Premier Wab Kinew is promising to now cover it for at least another year. Opposition leader Abi Khan says Bray needs more certainty than what the Premier is offering. An Indigenous-led group has released its final report on how to develop the Red Dress Alert System. The system, proposed and spearheaded by MP Leah Gazan, would be similar to an Amber Alert system, but for missing Indigenous women and girls.
And this initiative to have alerts and supports available for the woman is going to go a long ways to helping women feel safe, feel protected, and feel loved.
The 40-page report sets out what it calls a comprehensive blueprint for a province-wide dress alert system. Some of the findings include the importance of implementing the program through a standalone organization which is Indigenous-led. The report also calls for clear criteria to initiate an alert and accessible communication for remote communities.
We know that the first few hours after a person goes missing are critical to finding them. That is why the Red Dress Alert system, which would let the public know when an Indigenous woman, girl, or 2S LGBTQIA+ person is missing, is so important and could help in ending the national crisis.
The report lists June 2026 as a possible launch date for the system, but notes it's contingent on federal and provincial support. Both levels of government previously announced funding last year to lead the development of a pilot system. The province, along with the federal government, is spending more than $75 million for rural water and wastewater infrastructure projects.
This is really about the cost of living, right? The more that we can build infrastructure in your communities, the more affordable life is going to be for your ratepayers.
The money is being spread out among 5 regional projects. It includes $22 million for the Pembina Valley Water Co-op Capital Plan, $44 million for water and wastewater upgrades in southeast Manitoba, and $4.5 million for a sewer line from Morden to Winkler. The province says upgrading this critical infrastructure will help the rural communities grow.
Some big projects need to get done, not only to add to the housing stock, but to add to our economy. And when we look at what's going on with the guy down south, Trump and the tariffs, we're starting to see the impacts on our economy. So we need to build, and we need to build up Manitoba's economy to withstand those pressures.
Jim Funk, the Reeve of Hanover, says with construction costs rising every year, the financial support will keep the project on track and ensure shovels are in the ground next year. Meantime, the Premier also said his plan to set up a group to help police fight the distribution of methamphetamine will be backed up by new provincial resources. Canoe told municipal leaders about his plan and alluded to it in the recent throne speech. It will see a body set up to help coordinate drug enforcement among all police agencies in the province. This, as his government also plans to set up Manitoba's first supervised drug consumption site in Winnipeg in January, although it has not divulged the exact location. Canoe says the province is hoping to submit its application to the federal government in a few weeks, as there are still a few details to work out. CTV News Winnipeg is building another mountain of toys, and there is a few ways you can help us out with that. You can drop off a new unwrapped toy on Saturday, November 29th at Access Storage on Lawson Crescent from 1 to 4 p.m. You can also drop off or make a donation at all Scotiabank, IKEA, Toys R Us locations, and at select Winnipeg fire paramedic stations. It is definitely that time of year. All those toys, of course, will be distributed through the Salvation Army to families in need this Christmas, ensuring everybody has a gift under the tree. So if you can help out, please do. And the temperatures out there starting to feel a little bit more like Christmas, Colleen.
Put it this way, Marilee, I'm going to ease you into some cooler temperatures as the week goes on before there's a bit of a drop-off. So I'll leave you in suspense when the drop-off actually happens. But just know that we are getting back to reality, folks, with temperatures getting back to normal. That means sub-zero and dropping as we go throughout the week. I want to show you quickly, though, there's a little bit of light snow that continues to cross southeastern Manitoba now and into northwestern Ontario. This is courtesy of a low-pressure system that's bringing much more precipitation to the U.S., but I'll show you what it means in terms of those temperatures and when we'll see the sun start to shine again in southern Manitoba. But for now, let's take a look through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, it is -2, cloudy with the wind chill. It feels like -9. Winds coming out of the north-northwest at 23 kilometers an hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is 82%. Out in traffic on this Tuesday afternoon, it is busy on McPhillips, but traffic there is moving well.
I dropped everything. Sunday dinner was still sitting on the counter. I just left.
All hands on deck for a turtle rescue, where the little reptile is from and where she was found, plus where she is now.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Couche-Tard, owner of stores like Circle K, says it still plans to open 500 new stores by 2028. It already owns more than 17,000 convenience stores around the world. In its latest quarter, Couche-Tard reported profits rose 4.5% year over year to more than $740 million US. Meal deal sales helped push profits up. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction to 70.92. West Texas Intermediate crude is down to 57.95. Western Canadian Select is up to 46.17. And the TSX gained almost 300 points today, ending the day at a record high of 30,900. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
It isn't clear how a sea turtle named Moira found its way to British Columbia, but the reptile was not doing well in the icy cold BC waters. Luckily, it was found by a friendly fisherman. And as CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows you, it is now back on its way home.
Sean Hutchinson is watching a video of who he now calls a friend who he'd once named after himself.
I jokingly said, well, we might as well name her Shauna.
But in the end,
it was Moira.
And in the beginning, when Sean was on his boat, Moira was an unexpected discovery hidden under kelp.
The head popped up and looked at us. Oh my God moment.
She was a sea turtle who Sean knew was nowhere near native to the area.
It would kind of follow us a little bit, almost like asking for help, really.
And that's when Sean remembered hearing about a friend whose wife was a marine zoologist and called Dr. Anna Hall.
I dropped everything. Sunday dinner was still sitting on the counter. I just left.
The turtle was far from its more tropical home, only the second ever sighted in BC, and suffering from severe hypothermia.
It sort of looked like a creature that was moving toward the end of its life.
Staff at BC Ferries stepped up to ensure the turtle got on the first available ship to the mainland before being rehabilitated over the past 8 months by a team from the Marine Mammal Rescue Center who named her Moira.
Everybody was so happy that the turtle had made it to the people who know how to care for her.
And today, the first caring person Moira met is watching the final footage of the turtle being assessed at SeaWorld in San Diego and equipped with a tracker to monitor her safety before finally being released into the wild.
It's humbling to finally know she's back in the wild where she belongs, and that it was a full inspirational story.
A story with an enduring epilogue now that Sean and his wife are expecting a baby girl.
I mentioned we should name her Moira, but it's up for discussion right now.
And while Sean is thankful for all the turtle toys they received at the baby shower, the greatest gift is knowing that Moira is back home. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
A Christmas choir performance with a twist. Who is joining a long-established choral group on stage? Spotlight is next.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving a child the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside. When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving them the freedom to create warm winter memories. Because no child should be freezing cold. Kids should be able to go outside and have fun. Donate to Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used winter wear at these participating businesses. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Christmas with Johnny Reed.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and the Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir's first concert of the season is now less than a month away.
It sure is, Marilee, and this year's program includes a Caribbean twist. Christmas with the Phil, Let There Be Peace on Earth, kicks off on December 14th at Crescent Arts Center. The adult choral group will be joined by members of the High Life Steel Orchestra playing the steel pans, instruments repurposed from oil drums. Also joining them on stage will be 2 choirs from school divisions in the city. Showtime is at 3 p.m. with another performance at 7 p.m. Tickets are available on the choir's website.
An iconic Canadian singer-songwriter will receive a big award at next year's Junos.
Joni Mitchell is set to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award.
They rain and they snow on everyone.
Oh, I remember that performance. Mitchell will be honored for her fearless and groundbreaking career. The ceremony takes place next March in Hamilton, Ontario. The Junos have also announced Nelly Furtado will be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. She is being honored for a career that includes hits like a Bird and Man Eater. Furtado recently announced she is stepping back from live performances for the foreseeable future, so it's unclear, Marilee, if she plans to perform at the award show.
All right, only time will tell.
Yeah.
Only one more sleep until the Hawkins crew is back.
Volume 1 of the final season of Stranger Things is out tomorrow.
This is gonna work. Yeah, it better work. It's not like we're conspicuous or anything.
Netflix shared this one last trailer for fans ahead of the highly anticipated Season 5 premiere. We will get 4 episodes tomorrow. Volume 2 is out on Christmas with 3 episodes, and we will close out 2025 on New Year's Eve with the series finale.
Sounds like a perfect time to binge that
Sure
series.
does.
A decorated author has discovered an inconvenient truth about his past.
That's right. Thomas King, the author of The Inconvenient Indian, a curious account of Native people in North America, says he is not Indigenous after an investigation into his ancestry. The 82-year-old says he made an effort this year to find his origin after he learned about rumors questioning his heritage. That brought him to a U.S. group called Tribal Alliance Against Frauds. The investigation found he had no Cherokee heritage despite what he had grown up to believe. King says that he did not purposefully pretend to have Indigenous roots.
All right, thanks, Colleen.
You're welcome. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with E-Talk and The Big Bang Theory. MasterChef Canada heats things up at 8. And at 9, Catch the Traders Canada. And 911 wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arbor, Manitoba.
A live look at Portage Avenue, east and westbound in front of Polo Park. Very busy, but moving well. In the city, it's -2. I'll show you how much cooler things are going to get and how fast that's going to happen coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady is back now with your complete Skywatch forecast and tracking some cooler weather this week.
Yes, there's a little bit of snow making its way across the most southern parts of the province right now. So I'll show you here. It's been tracking across the international border and a little further north throughout the day. We're on the northern flank of a system that I'm going to show you in a moment is a lot more substantial on the other side of the international border. But first, I want to show you eastward, northwestern Ontario, getting some of that snow. But I'm going to pull back this curtain and show you, wow, look at all that snow and rain falling on the other side of the border there through the Dakotas and crossing Minnesota as well. Some of that's going to head back north up into Canada around the Thunder Bay area. But in behind all that snow and rain is higher pressure that's going to be building in. And as it does, it's going to bring down a blast of Arctic air. And so I say blast. So it's not going to be an abrupt change, but really gradually over the next few days, just get used to daytime highs that are going to be cooler and cooler. And then there's going to be a big change coming up partway through the weekend. So I'll reveal that much, but I'll continue to show as we move along overnight into Wednesday. Some of these clouds start to part in the south. Clouds continue across the north with the chance of a little bit of light snow here and there, particularly on the eastern side of the province. But as we get into Wednesday morning, cloudy still in the north. Some sunshine, some cloud across the south. Temperatures remaining below freezing, as they ought to normally anyway for this time of year. We've had a good long run, but it is coming to an end. It already basically has. Clearer conditions still as we get into the overnight hours into Thursday. Still cloudy in northwestern Ontario. Snow that will come through there, pushing further off east into Ontario. Meanwhile, back here in Manitoba, again, for the most part, sunshine, but some areas may see a little bit less than a fully sunny sky. Let's put it that way. -7 is our low tonight with a low chance of snow. We're on the very northern periphery of that precipitation shield. Winds out of the north at 15 kilometers an hour for much of the night. They may shift a little and come out of the northwest overnight, but by by morning by the commute. They will come from the northwest, still 15 kilometers an hour. A mix of sun and cloud with a high tomorrow afternoon of -3 degrees. Now, for perspective, the normal high for this time of year for late November is -5. So by Thursday, we'll slip just below that -6. And this is what I'm talking about. -7 on Friday, -8 on Saturday. By Sunday, a high of just -12, increasing clouds. And look at these overnight lows. Saturday night into Sunday, Sunday night into Monday, -16 degrees. Even Monday night into Tuesday, also -16. But on Monday, too, another cool day, a high of -12 with increasing cloud as we get into the afternoon. It's on its way. Let's take a look at our weather photos. They're on the way. They're right here, right now. This photo is a beautiful look at the sky over Killarney, Manitoba in the southwest. That photo was taken by Bob. And this next one, drum roll please, was taken by Ryan looking out over West Hawk Lake. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The CTV Skywatch Pick of the Day is brought to you by the Manitoba Chiropractors Association. We've got your back.
A stuffed bunny has been reunited with its original owner after being found at Vancouver's airport last month. Alberta's Joey Gibbs found the rabbit while waiting on a flight to Seoul and decided to travel with it until he could return it to its owner. Gibbs crafted a travel log detailing the bunny's adventures and then posted it to social media, which, as you can imagine, garnered thousands of likes and comments from people all over the world who were following this journey. And guess what? After weeks of back and forth, WestJet contacted Gibbs to say the owner had finally been found. A mother and her young daughter actually lost the bunny while returning from a visit home to China. Gibbs says he is just glad the story had a happy ending.
Oh, that's good.
And the bunny got some extra travels, extra air miles.
Win-win-win.
Yes. Some different sites and followers.
Right.
Get him his own Instagram account or social media platform.
We'll get on that right now.
All right. That does it for us this hour. Don't go far. We'll be back at 6 with much more local news. Hope to see you then.